In this training, we're going to be walking through how to use Voyant's Historic Insight. This insight can be found by navigating over to our Insight tab. This is a great stress testing insight so that you can overlay volatility onto your client's plan and see how your client's plan might react to a historic simulation. Let's go over here and go ahead and open up this insight. You have the option in the US version of the software to use the historic maps of the S&P 500, and you can map onto your client's plan a selected time period. You have the time period between 1950 and 2022, and you can use this slider bar to select the period of time that you want to map onto your client's plan. So I'm going to do this in no particular order, but let's just say that I want to see how my client's plan reacts to a 2008 to current day market. And I want to see how the 9 accounts that are invested in portfolios might react to that volatility. And one thing you do need to keep in mind is that those accounts do need to be in asset allocations for this simulation to work. I'm going to go ahead and click Get Started, and we're going to run this simulation. All right, so we can see the comparison, and I'm going to go ahead and run a comparative plan. You can see that we don't have any shortfall in our cash flow, so that's a good initial sign. If we were going to be running into any cash flow issues, we would initially see some red in the plan. This is a high net worth plan, so cash flow isn't really a concern for these clients, but I want to see how this historic simulation is going to affect their assets. So I'm going to click Compare to Plan, and we can see our insight results on the top and our base plan on the bottom. And I'm going to flip this over to our assets, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the non-liquid assets as they're not really a concern for this simulation, and I'm going to take a look at the difference between the two. So comparing what are just projected growth, year-on-year growth for the plan is there on the bottom. We have 113.9 million at the end of the plan versus with this historic simulation where we have volatility in the market, including that 2008 dip in the market, we have 50.1 million as the ending asset balance at the end of the plan. So you can see the difference with the market volatility mapped onto our client's plan here at the top. And you can even get into the year view if you want to see what we're doing with the different growths in the different years. So you can see all the different changes in the portfolios year on year. You can see how those are changing in different years based on what's happening in the plan. I hope that this has been helpful. If you do have any questions or you'd like assistance running this insight, feel free to reach out to us by clicking the name of your client, selecting Request Support, entering your question into the text box, and sharing client access. Thanks for listening.